leftover debris from a crash. Well, just happened to come across that as I turned the camera on, folks. But hey, we made it to Monday morning, had a nice weekend break. I've got this load I picked up in Fort Smith Friday afternoon, delivers tomorrow morning in Merrillville, Indiana, which is the northwest part of Indiana. I left out, I probably left the Maverick yard this morning in North Little Rock around 5:30. I've been driving for an hour, maybe a little more than that. I'm on I-40 East. I'm going to go up, hit 55 North, and then go up to Southern Illinois and hit 57. Take it all the way up towards Chicago, and then hit I-80 for a few miles, and then hit I-65, and just go south for a few miles, and I think that's where I need to be. At least that's my projected path at this point. So we're in eastern Arkansas, in the Delta region again. Had a lot of rain around here over the weekend. Kind of got cold, really. Surprisingly cool. Oh, let's see, what else can I tell you? Got some good emails from some of you guys. I don't know if I've gotten all of them yet, but I'll review that later and see. But I've got 2 sections of steel bar I'm carrying, 7 bundles of steel bars that were a little over 19 feet long. Just giving you a little Monday morning road footage. Got a lot of flooded timber over here to the right. A lot of water around these pumps. There's a rest area right up here. I'm going to stop and do my first load check of the day, so maybe make me another cup of coffee. Rest area. This rest area is near just before you get to Forest City, Arkansas. It's kind of an old rest area. It needs some bigger rest areas on this I-40. You know, this stretch of I-40 between Little Rock and Memphis is one of the busiest, like for commercial truck traffic. I heard there's actually an article in the newspaper 3 or 4 years ago talking about how this is one of the most trafficked sections of freeway in the country for commercial trucks. It needs a better rest, some better rest areas. You can see this is one of those where, you know, you just have parallel parking through here. Not the best setup, but like I said, you know, this rest area has probably been here since the I don't know, the 60s maybe, I don't know. All right, I'll get back to you. Okay, everybody, a little update for you. We are about to leave Missouri and get into Southern Illinois. I'm on I-57, about to cross this big bridge up ahead. I don't know, what time is it? It's about 10:20. to show you these sites when I can. This will be the Mississippi River we're crossing. Let's see, I've been on the road now for about 4.5 hours or so. Still got over 6 hours of driving, says the GPS, to get to my customer. About a 10.5 hour trip overall. Alright, here's the Illinois state line right here in the middle of the Mississippi River. But yeah, so it's about a 10.5 hour trip, you know, strictly driving time. And, you know, we can drive 11 hours per day, 11 of our 14-hour work day, we can drive 11 hours. So, you know, part of the other 3 hours today I'll use, well, I'll stop back there in Blytheville, Arkansas, and got fuel, did a load check, and I've stopped probably at least 2 other times to do a quick little, you know, 5 or 6 minute load check. You know, so all of that gets worked into your other 3 hours of time. And then, of course, before I've driven 8 hours, I'll have to stop and do a 30-minute break in order to get my remaining 3 hours. You know, 8 hours plus 3 hours equals the total of 11 hours we can drive. So now that break, that 30-minute break, that can sometimes, you know, it works out, you can do that at your customer or your shipper, you know, while you're loading or unloading. That's a change in the rules that happened about, when did that occur? What was that? Maybe in the fall of 2020? They changed that so that you could actually take your 30-minute break while you were at the customer, unloading, loading, or even like fueling, which I thought was a great rule change, because it used to be, you know, before that we would just have to stop somewhere and just take an entire 30-minute break, which, you know, I just think it made a lot of us have to get off the road and clog up truck stops, rest areas, and that's if you're lucky and could find one. You know, sometimes, you know, it's hard, depending on where you're at, to find a place to stop and do a 30-minute break. Plus, it just prolongs your day. It's not like you're going to really stop and get some meaningful rest during that 30 minutes. So I thought that was an excellent rule change. But today, since I'm not, you know, doing any loading or unloading, I'll actually have to stop. I'll probably stop at a rest area up here in the next couple hours and do a 30-minute break, you know, walk around a little bit, have a snack, check emails, you know, that sort of thing, to get my last 3 hours put back on my clock. Because I won't be, other than fueling, I won't, you I won't be doing anything else today where I could utilize that 30-minute time to the 30-minute break. I'm not going to be getting a load or delivering a load. I'm just driving today. I'm going to try to get all the way to my customer and park there overnight and be ready for a 7 a.m. unload and get going early tomorrow. If it works out, that's the plan anyway, unless I get bogged down in some kind of traffic. Okay, more later. Alright folks, a little update for you. Still on my way up to Merrillville, Indiana. I'm on 57 North still. A little bit south of Champaign, Illinois. Or as you more sophisticated folks say, Champagne. And I just stopped at this little rest area to do a load check. Like I mentioned last week, they give the rest areas names here in Illinois, and this one is called the Illini Prairie Rest Area. This is the section of Illinois where it is always super windy. In fact, somewhere up here, up the road, I'll try to film it for you if I remember. You got one of those big windmill farms. It's a good place for one, because here on the Illini Prairie, the wind does blow. Alright, so I've got about 2 hours, a little over 2.5 hours left to go. Still trying to get to my customer this evening. GPS says I've got 2 hours and 38 minutes of driving left. And I've got 3 hours and 3 minutes left of drive time on my clock. So I should be alright. I just heard them say on the radio it's supposed to get down to 30 degrees tonight. 30 degrees tonight. Gee, man. Okay, that's all I got for now. Okay guys, I'm here at my customer, Merrillville, Indiana. Had to think about that. Custom Forge, I think it's called. Let me see what it's called. I forget. Modern Forge. And it's snowing. Can you see that snow? So, here's the property. Pulled in from out there on the highway, and the directions were really good to pull into this lot here. This is where we can overnight park, and then tomorrow I guess I'll circle around there to the crane, pointing the truck this way, and get unloaded right there and then exit out. So I was going to try to go ahead and get my tarps off of here, but the wind's been blowing and it's like 30 degrees. It's cold. So I've got one of my tarps rolled up. I was going to go ahead and drag these off, get them put away, and that way I won't have to mess with it in the morning when it's probably still dark. But they've already sent me a pre-plan for tomorrow, going about 12 miles from here up to just directly north of here to Gary, Indiana, to get some steel tubing. I forget the name of the place. Don't think I've been there before either, but it's a good trip. It goes to Louisiana, down near Baton Rouge. So if I can just get out of here tomorrow, I'll have a pretty good trip. Go somewhere warmer. All right, everybody. Tuesday morning, about 10 till 7. I'm still the only truck here. And I've walked in over here to the right and checked in. And he told me just to pull around here to the left, circle around under the crane to get unloaded. He said I could take my final straps off once I got over here to the crane. Man, I slept good, but sure did get cold. I had to turn the heater on. First time I've done that in a while. But nice, quiet place to sleep. And then after I get unloaded, they've already sent me a load going up to Gary, Indiana. It's only about a 22-minute drive, says the GPS, 13 miles, to a place where I'm getting some steel tubing going down to southern Louisiana. So, nice trip. Hadn't been to Louisiana in a few months. Mud hole here, and I can't really avoid it. Golly. Okay. Just circling around here to get under the crane. Hop out, and I've got 4 straps still on the load. A lot of bars sitting out here. They actually said there's a sign up by the office where I checked in that I could have actually come up here beginning at 6 a.m. but my instructions said 7 a.m. So I went in there about 6:40 and he said, "Yeah, let's go." But probably wouldn't have done me much good to get up here at 6 because my appointment for my next load is at 9. All right, let me get my coat on and get these straps off. Okay guys, so we're about to get started unloading. This is my friendly unloader up here, Ernest. About to get the first bundle off. Ernest said they use these particular bars to make brake pads for airplanes. He said they make all kinds of stuff. Parts for Harley Davidson, crankshafts, just all sorts of different things needed in manufacturing. So they make certain pieces and then ship it off to be used in the making of something else. So Ernest is using cables. And he's getting all 3 bundles at one time. Boy, this will go pretty quick. Usually when I get unloaded, they use straps or chains. But he's got 2 cables up there, so whatever works. And man, you can tell by how Ernest is dressed. It's cold out here, people. I told him I was talking to my wife on the phone last night, and she said it was 70 degrees where I live, and it was snowing here. Of course, the snow didn't stick. I mean, you can see out here. I mean, it wasn't a problematic snow, but it was snowing. So he just sets it out here in the yard for future use. All right, well, let me get some timbers put up. All right, guys, so I pulled out of the unloading zone, got all my timbers put away, sent in my empty call, And we're headed to Gary, Indiana, to a place called T&B Tubing. I was talking to old Ernest back there, and he said, you know, he gets anywhere from 5 to 11 or 12 trucks a day. He said today he's got 6 trucks coming in. There's 2 of them behind me. So he's halfway done. I tell you, one thing about this area of northern Indiana that I always notice is how pretty their grass is. I don't know what it is, the climate, the soil, but they have beautiful grass up here in most places. All right, so that was our visit to Modern Forge in Merrillville, Indiana. I wouldn't mind coming here again. It was fairly easy to get to, although next time I'll take 65 on over here instead of cutting across on 30, even though it was about 10 miles shorter to go through 30. It had about 20 stoplights. Would have been better to go the freeway. Easier, probably quicker. So anyway, let's get up to Gary, Indiana.